The base of your spine, what I call sourcing and urgings, is the justice card. It typically means legal matters, but maybe in this instance it's something about you throwing around ideas of what was right and wrong and how things happened. When this card shows up, it indicating that something's off balance and out of kilter, and you have to find some way to make a new equilibrium. And the clarification card is the Four of Cups. You've had too much of something and you don't want it anymore. No, I don't want whatever's in that cup. I feel a little emotionally distressed, and I'm having some type of accountability from the Justice card within myself. Something just hasn't turned out right. Here in your pelvic or sacrum is what I'm calling awakening or arousing, is the Sun card. You've been through quite a bit and you're feeling good about it. Your joy and contentment. You're feeling freer than you ever had before. Something about basking in the sun as well as finding light within inside you for the spiritual awakening that is progressing real well. The clarification card is the Ace of Swords. It's a new beginning card, but you have to be careful with the Ace of Swords. It can hurt or heal, destroy or rebuild. It really depends on how you use the sword. And you're given your free will, and what you want to do next is really up to you, but I would be very careful when the Ace of Swords shows up so that you know where you're going and what you're going to do, because the Ace of Swords is really good about cutting through crap and getting down to the heart of the matter, and that's the best use you can use that sword for. Here in the solar plexus is what I call feeling and sensing, is the transition card. In the Rider-Waite, it's the Death card, so it's a transformation. You're changing. Something is different. You're not feeling so good down here in the spine, but things are fairly good in your spiritual and sexual awakenings. But you're sensing that something has to change. It can't stay the same. And the clarification card is the Empress. It's about beauty and fertility, but fertility can mean the beginning of something. You're starting anew in a project or something, and she's also about the senses. So this is an excellent card for this position of the solar plexus, because you're sensing that you have to change. She's about material senses, but at this point, it's still in the subconscious and it hasn't come up to the surface for the conscious yet. Here at the heart of the matter, the Ace of Cups. Another new beginning. If you've noticed here, you've got how many? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 major arcana cards out of 6 on this side. So whatever's going on in this unconscious side of you has had a long-term effect on you. And here the Ace of Cups is now a new beginning, but it's more like saying a new emotional beginning. You're being the green light, the universal green light that things are changing and there's renewal coming about. And here the clarification card is the Four of Pentacles, and I've seen this card in the last couple readings, and it's meant the same thing as that. It's not that you're not a charitable person and you're hanging on to money. It's that you're hanging on to something that's not serving you anymore. It's not to your advantage to keep in your life. Here down in the throat, what I call communicating and teaching, is the Ten of Wands. This is an ending and new beginnings, but it's saying that the road you went down was a lot of work. It was a heavy load. And you're ready to get rid of some things in your life. You're communicating this to people. And here the clarification card is the Two of Pentacles. You're still juggling ideas around. You know that you're at a completion point and you're not sure what you're going to do, but there's different things to decide and different ideas in your mind. You're in your third eye, or what I call seeing and envisioning. You're seeing the wish card, the Nine of Cups. You have some type of wish that's been long term and you've wanted to come to fruition. In this instance, it's just a minor arcana card, so it's a yes or no whether this happens or not. It's up to you. You have two aces here and a lot of major arcana cards. And here, as the clarification card, is the Hanged Man. It's telling you to be careful of what you wish for and sit back and acquire wisdom before you start making these decisions, because it's been a hard road and you still have a lot of ideas rolling around in your head. Here's the Knight of Cups for the Crown, which is your knowing and understanding. He's offering you a cup of love or a cup of something, a cup of passion. But you're not really too sure if you want to accept any of these cups, and you're given a new beginning here in the heart of the matter, but you've been hanging on to something that's not serving you. So I would go with the Hangman here and think really heavy on what you want to accept. Oh, and the clarification card is the Queen of Cups. So you've got a woman that's very intuitive, and she's telling you now to use your intuition to make these good decisions in your life. Okay, your past card is the Hierophant. There you go on this left side now. You've added another major arcana card, and it can be about institutions and like-minded groups and orthodox teachings and conservative training. But for me, it means that somebody is seeking a truth, and you've been seeking something for a very long time in your past. The future card is the Five of Cups. It's a card that means a lot of D's, displacement and disappointment, and you really have to be careful because you go into denial sometimes, and you're seeing the pessimistic side of the cups empty versus the full cups on the mantle, but you're going to have to be careful what you wish for. And I think you'll have better luck, because here, with the overall energy of the reading or the outcome, is the Ace of Swords again. So you've had two Ace of Swords. And it's like, if you can use these swords to cut through the crap and actually find the truth that you've been seeking and transforming into new projects and new things, you're going to have an excellent March. And here's your Doreen Virtue Messages of the Angel card. You received Omega. Victory, your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. So I think if you can play off these Ace of Swords that you received and also make some decisions about what's going on with your love life and the Ace of Cups, or your emotional life, it's the Conflict card. That's what I call it anyway. But I have a feeling there's something else going on here. It's like a skirmish for you to search for the meaning of life. For conflicts in your life are hitting full force. But there's different kinds of conflict going on here. It's a conflict of the inner struggle of yourself, and also the conflict of yourself with the outer world. Somehow, somewhere, something got lost in the translation between these worlds. Games are being played, and you have to learn these new rules. You're seeking some kind of inner balance of peace with yourself and your surroundings. But unfortunately, there's very little agreement between these opponents. The word estric means the art of dispute. And at times people argue for just argument's sake, and they lose the whole premise why they're arguing. The word estric came from Esris, the Greek goddess of chaos, strife, and disorder, who incite arguments that do not pursue the truth. You must turn these conflicts into constructive debates over heated arguments and see the truth. The clarification card is the world. I was just blown away when I pulled two of the worlds. I don't remember the last time I've done that, and the world is very rarely shows up. And for them to come out in the same reading for only 7 cards, it's just astounding. Here the world is a completion of a journey and the beginning of a new cycle. Lessons have been learned from a long road that you traveled through the major arcana cards. Now seeds are planted for the new unconscious and conscious mind, body, and spirit. It's time to realize the bounty of your learning, earning, and changing as you had gone through the major arcana cards. It's really time to rest, and then you can move on to the next challenge. But never forget that you have to share what you learned. It's very important for you to do that. The presence of the world symbolizes development, fulfillment, achievement, and completion. Saturn represents this card and also represents the harvest of the completion of life. Because the word Saturn in Latin means to sow. Happiness and success has been earned with overwhelming accolades, and it's time for you to move on to a new cycle in your life. Now the clarification card under what can be yours or is yours is the Justice card. Normally her presence indicates something's out of balance, and maybe it had been with the 5 of Wands. But now the 2 World cards just command and say, now things are going back into balance. This can also be about legal matters and details of contract agreements, and also as well, it can be about accountability for your behavior, and maybe there will be some with all the people that were involved in all the conflicts in the 5 of Wands. But here it's more like justice is being served, and now you're being released and freed by the World cards. In yourself and self-awareness, you receive temperance. In this instance, it's kind of like it's a blank canvas that needs to be filled with cautious brush strokes, because with the 2 World cards, now you're into something completely new. But it's reminding you here that moderation and self-control and restraint are very important, and that you have to shed impulsive desires. And keep in mind that all kinds of relationships require temperance. It's very hard to balance things, especially in personal interactions. And sometimes things become habitual behaviors, and they're really hard to conquer. They're really hard to make an urge for reform when you've gotten into the habit. Oh, well, a friend of mine calls it habit instead of habit. Her appearance cautions you about the fusion of opposing forces while trying to avoid an explosion. This is a crossroads to the question of who you really are and how you want to handle your future path and where you want to go. William Blake said, "You never know what is enough unless you know what is more than enough." And I just love his poems and as well as his artwork. She has the flow of knowledge that connects the unconscious inner self to the conscious self, and that's what makes temperance very unique. And hopefully this will release you from your shadow self. Now the clarification card is the Page of Wands, the immature guy that's playing with fire. And it could also represent somebody in your life that is a Libra, Aquarian, a Gemini. So you have to be really careful when you're playing with fire because it can renew or devour. And the Pages brings youthful adventures. But they can be of chance and good luck or risk and danger. And there's two sides to this coin. He can fan the flames of many different types of exploits, travel, education, and creative endeavors. And he brings exciting and new prospects. I always think I love American style and the fireworks shooting off. But then again, as with all pages, they bring messages and also this, in this instant, maybe an inkling idea. The kind of idea that's always been in the back of your mind, but you never acted on it. But this new idea might take you out of your comfort zone, and you're not really sure if you want to do that. And as well, maybe you don't want to do that because he is a very immature entity, and he's still making the typical mistakes from inexperience. And so maybe you don't want to listen to the Page of Wands as much as you think you do, because temperance is above the Page of Wands saying, "Oh, whoa, wait, let's temper and moderate our ideas here." Now the future card is the Ace of Pentacles. How wonderful to have a new beginning card. It extends possible gifts of value and fates of fortune. Here he's offering one pentacle with the promise of more. And this could also indicate that struggles with finances are coming to an end, or maybe business and work matters could have some success. This card is also a talisman of health, or the return of good health. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day, and hard work is expected to reap the rewards of this card. Job offers and promotions may appear, or unexpected endowments of money. This can also be offering earthly prosperity, bringing the comforts of the spiritual world with this earthly prosperity. Kind of follows along. And once you're happy, then spiritually you can also be happy. But here it's reminding you too that you have to roll up your sleeves and get started in building your own empire. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.